Hello, this is Jennifer Heffentrager. This is my video for our philosophy paper and our growth. See a little bit. Here I have my art portfolio that I printed out for you all to see. And we'll go over that now. Okay, so this is my art portfolio for Early Childhood Ed 126 WA, Arts in Early Childhood. And there's a table of contents for the slides. And this was the quote that I felt best fit my philosophy. It is, art is a place for children to learn, to trust their ideas, themselves, and to explore what is possible. This is by Marianne F. Cole. Okay. One of the big ideas I took away from this class would be how important processed art is over product art. The way that they can explore, the different materials that they can use, and what the importance is in developing the whole child through the arts, and not just visual art, but through drama, through music, through dance as well. This was the finger painting that we did. I did this one to music, and this was in the class when we were learning about the importance of sensory materials. So it was interesting as I did these art projects in class. I found it was helpful in visualizing what it is for the children to do art. It is like putting yourself within their shoes of doing the art and how it makes you feel and what does it feel like. How to think outside and use your skills in trying to make it without using any instruments and using your fingers as your instruments. So I really enjoyed this project. Okay, and this was standard 2. This was the cultural hex sign. This was when we were exploring our own cultures, which I found this to be very, very helpful. This is the one area I feel that I lack in getting cultural diversity into the classroom. It's a little bit of a struggle. The children in my class, I have a vast variety of cultural children in my classroom. So this is the one area that I myself personally struggle with on a daily basis to make sure that I am including. So these particular projects about our own culture really helped me see and to challenge myself to make sure that I am doing developmentally appropriate cultural experiences in the classroom. And this was one that we had done where I did a clay sculpture, another great sensory experience for me. Really made me have to think about how I wanted to present what I was making. So this helped me when my children play Play-Doh, the types of questions that I want to ask, those open-ended questions to further their knowledge. So this particular activity that I did helped me in seeing how I could progress with open-ended questions. Okay, this was standard 4. And this was the drawing that we had done. This one particularly, I love to draw nature. So for me, nature was an inspiring thing. At the time when we did this lesson, it was just like the end of winter, the beginning of spring. So the trees really hadn't bloomed or anything yet. So I took my inspiration of that. We were learning about the importance of shadowing. So I used shadow within my picture, so that was interesting to learn as well. The importance of shadowing. And this was our name project, which really made me have to really think about how I wanted to present my name in different ways. And I kind of got stuck, which I was surprised. And I had to like refer back to when I was a teenager and how we used to write those things on our books and doing the block letters and making it fun and writing it upside down. So this really challenged my thinking skills as to how to create my name. Then we have standard 6, which this was when we did the product versus processed art. I did learn the importance of how I don't like product art, and I really prefer processed art myself. It was very boring to have to do it the way and cut it out the way and make the colors the way somebody else wanted and not the way I wanted it to look. So this really gave me a great insight into how a child feels when we put those stressors on them about how to make projects, and when we give them instructions, is it really what they want? Are we making it the way we want it to look or the way they want to represent it? So this was a great project, and I actually love this project so much that I will be asking my director at my center when we have our curriculum night to advocate the importance of parents letting their children do processed art at home and using this example in our curriculum night. Curriculum night, the children don't come, so this is strictly for the parents, and showing them the difference versus product over process. So I'm actually thinking of using this in September for our curriculum night. So I thought this was an excellent example of how to show the difference. And I'm hoping to advocate that for our parents moving forward so that at home, when they go home on the weekends and they do, little art projects, to really inform the parents to let it be about the process and not the product. So, and this was my big idea paper to take away. Again, I think the biggest thing that I learned and want to advocate for is processed art. So that's a little bit of my presentation. Some of the questions that we had, I found using the standards for our Pennsylvania standards was great. It is a great way to see how you are making sure that you're hitting those developmentally appropriate experiences for the children and making sure you are including all aspects and all domains of development. I also thought it was important to reflect on your lesson plans. So when you have that study again or that experience again, what pitfalls not to fall into, maybe what you were missing, what you could have done better, what you could have added to the experience. So I think reflection on those things is very important. I also liked that we learned, and I feel I am most comfortable is in emergent curriculum and using the product approach for older children. I used to use product approach when I taught preschool for 15 years. So now that I have the twos, we touch a little bit on making some larger projects that might only last a day or two, and then they kind of lose interest because they're two. So we focus more on the emergent curriculum and adding items to the environments using the principles of universal design in the experience, making sure we're using CLAD as well in the environment, and make sure that all children are included. I will use all this knowledge I took from art class, and I will be sharing a lot of the information once we get back to our classrooms with my co-teachers. I felt this class was awesome. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about art and the importance of displaying items in the classroom respectfully. It taught me a lot about how to teach different artists in a way that we can modify those things and make it developmentally appropriate for the children in the classroom. So on a whole, I thought it was great. I think it taught me a lot too about using the ethics of making sure that we are being sensitive to our family's needs and desires. I really liked how we learned about incorporating all of their cultural beliefs and celebrating holidays, and you don't have to celebrate every holiday, which I think is very important. We do that in our classroom, and making it be reflective of the children and their families in the classroom, as well as the teachers. We have beliefs too. So they see us as their extended family. So I think it's important that teachers also include some of their culture when we discuss these things and do movements and like we learned about our cultural dances and things like that, and incorporating that into the classroom. So I feel that was one major thing that we had learned in this class. Like I said, I think my future challenge is to make sure that I'm using and being respectful with the diversity and the culture in the classroom. Like I said, that's the area I struggle with, but I am glad I learned so much about that in this class and can use those principles going forward. Okay, that is the end of my presentation. I did like to say to Donna, our professor, I really enjoyed your class, and hopefully I will have you again possibly in another one. Okay, thank you.